So, my name is Martin. I'm very glad to see you all here today. And I would like to talk about my experience running an ERP company, Directo. I have to say that although my experience in the field that is very closely related to accounting is almost as long as Professor Järvenpää's, it's diametrically different. It's a bit embarrassing to stand up here because all the time he has been researching the field which is related to the finances numbers. I have somehow been doing stuff without researching anything. But it works both ways, it turns out. So we founded Directo as an ERP company and like Peter said, one of the first pure cloud-based companies in ERP field in the whole world, almost exactly 25 years ago. So these 25 years have been unique chance for me to be like a first row viewer of seeing the changes which actually have happened in the way of companies are managed. And it's funny because now, 25 years later, we have come to the point of next big change. But I thought about all this experience and I thought, why exactly did it happen 25 years ago? We are talking about cloud, we are talking about digitalization. Nobody talked about digitalization at that time. So the historical setting, I understand in retrospect why it happened. It was just a couple of months of the height of the dot-com bubble. The highest point of dot-com was March 2020. And what was dot-com actually doing? That was the turning point in history where people first time really tried to use internet as a medium for business. Yeah, it was e-commerce. Most of them failed. But anyway, we have come to the point where public perception was that the internet is not just for like family photos and stuff, but it's actually useful for business. And I think that was one of the catalysts for us to start the thing. And the other thing also was because of the same dot-com boom, there was suddenly huge leap in internet connectivity infrastructure. All the telecoms actually were creating connections that should have been ready for all the e-commerce coming up, and it never came, and there was, how to say, a lot of internet, not by today's standards, but by these time standards, to be used for useful purposes. Why is it important? Is that our cloud-based approach actually during these years changed the way how people in organizations operate with data. And as a result, it also changed a bit, or not a bit, actually quite significantly, how the managers of the organizations manage the organizations. So operationally, even in Estonia, we like to think that we are a high-tech country. Even in Estonia, running a business, doing whatever everyday operations, including accounting, the utilization of IT was very, very low. We saw loads of paper in different parts of the processes. And more importantly, we saw the isolation of data. That was actually like really, really common stuff that if you're running an organization, you have, let's say, sales data, you have stock keeping data. Somehow it goes to the financial accounting, which somehow results in the financial reporting, which is needed by the management. But these were quite isolated. And it was actually quite a huge problem. And first it's like money-wise, it's huge overload or overhead in the company workflow. And let's say most typical problem was that several people inside the organization handled the same piece of data several times. So it's duplication of activities. And part of the reasons for that was that first, the systems were not integrated. It's quite common looking back at these times that you actually had like a separate accounting system, you had a separate CRM system, and so on, and they were not accessible. And that's the main point that changed the way companies operate afterwards. So from the manager's point of view, myself communicating with all our customers, I mostly talk to the actual managers of the company, CEO, CFO, and I have seen that change in these people. 25 years ago, it was the reporting coming to the management table was something that was actually detached from the source of the data which caused it. So it gave some latency in the decision, which means that there were reporting cycles. It quite typical was that you do your sales, accounting puts together data, then you have monthly report, managers have a look at it, make some decisions based on that, and you go on the monthly cycle. Monthly cycle is still very common. And also this having slowness in this process also meant that managers were not able to implement changes quickly. And that was quite okay, by the way. It was not a huge problem because the changes did not happen as fast as they do today. And if I have to somehow summarize what have changed in the overall operations of businesses during these 25 years, is that all the changes are happening faster, 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 faster. The world around us are changing faster and faster. If I open BBC News in the morning, it's impossible to predict what will I see there. So the world was a bit different back then, but it has been evolving all the time. And like mentioned in the previous presentation, a lot of times role shifts, they have been important for all these, like 25 or 30 years. We have been talking about that a lot. But one of the things that we experienced and what we actually facilitated was that we enabled the frontline workers actually create data that from the point of origin lives to the end, to the top management table. That was like system integration, and the result was that instead of like entering data, transferring data to different departments, maybe modifying, maybe aggregating it for reporting, suddenly it was single data which originated from the point where business actually creates it. And that, of course, first step was that a lot of roles in the organizations were lost. I remember in year 2008, where times in Estonian economy were not nice at all. One of our new customers went to a conference and pulled up a slide and said how nice we implemented a new ERP and immediately were able to fire 10 accountants. It was not nice message at these times, but that was a fact because they somehow managed to use technology to lose the data duplication, and yeah, a lot of people lost jobs. But actually, most of them transferred to something different. When it was talked about strategic management accounting, it's maybe a bit broad term, but it describes very well what actually went on. The accountants who, at least in our business environment, were what was the term? Bean counters. Actually, they were data input robots a lot of the time. They lost that job and they became more of strategic partners of the management, which actually resulted in the most important part, at least in my opinion. Being a company manager myself, I somehow try to concentrate on the management side of that. And I would call it, that was enlightenment of managers. What happened of this huge load of data flowing in real time without human transfer errors was that the managers actually, first time we saw them find out that the data, the real-time data, once again, like mentioned before, is useful for actually doing their stuff and making decisions. And what was in this data model, what was very important also for us was that our philosophy is to operate on a single set of data instead of aggregating, consolidating, putting it to data warehouses in the middle, which means that suddenly managers had the capability of looking at the line in the P&L and going in real time to the bit where it originated, point of origin, to the actual point. For example, a single cashier invoice where there was a single pencil sold to a customer, and that changed the style a lot. And the change of style actually was that they used to be reliant on asking these questions from controllers, their accountants, and suddenly they changed towards doing it themselves. Not all of them. I have no illusions. There are a lot of managers still in Estonia who expect the monthly report to be brought, maybe even printed on paper to the table, but it's not so common as it was before. And like I mentioned before, it also allows them to more quickly implement changes because they get more instant feedback on that one. And that's actually needed. Like I said, our world has become very, very unpredictable. And there's nothing we can do about it. 20 years ago, strategic planning was actually a thing. Not to insult anybody, I don't believe it in myself personally, but it was useful. Whether we want it or not, our world has changed in that way that we have to manage things more reactively. Maybe one of the good examples, not good example, a very unpleasant example actually, but the perfect example from almost exactly 5 years ago. With 5 days notice, our country went into total lockdown because of COVID. Which means that thousands and thousands of our customers had either two options, either to shut down or start working absolutely differently, without zero planning. And the technological tools that we are providing, which is like location-independent access to your systems, actually zero need for human interaction for data to flow, it allowed them to do that. And nobody expected, nobody planned that. And I think it's going worse and worse. We have war starting, unstable politicians taking over big countries, let's say important countries, and we never know what happens. So actually the managers have had to adapt to more agile way of thinking. So 20 years ago, it was quite okay to plan what are we doing in the next 3 years, 5 years. It has come to a point that you wake up in the morning and you have to plan what are you doing today and tomorrow, and that's about the scope of things that are manageable. So yeah, shortening of planning scope. So I'm glad that I have seen this change happen. If Estonian companies, not only Estonian companies, we operate in more than 70 countries, but Baltics are our own market, and I know these the best. If the companies, ERP-wise, handling the accounts, handling the finances, sales stuff, would be working The same way as like 20, 25 years ago. Today, most of them would go bankrupt in less than 6 months. So it's that change was inevitable. But like I said, it has been very, very interesting experience for me to actually witness that. And like I said, 25 years. 25 years ago, dot-com boom was an important thing that brought the capabilities of internet distributed cloud systems to allow all these changes I described. Basically, the change was that our technology allowed to reduce the number of people doing the same job. It was quite typical problem that the same data was handled by not only one, but 2, 3, 4 persons in the organization, and the interconnectivity changed that. Like it was mentioned by Professor Järvenpää, the next step now that is actually happening, and I can see no limit to that, is in some cases the number of people handling the data will be reduced to 0. Machines are replacing people. First thing is actual automation, which is very important, that instead of, let's say, predictable processes handled by people will be handled by automation processes instead. Another thing is that in the software world, the integration between companies and systems is higher than ever before, which means that we are losing people that were dealing with intercompany communications, because machines talk to machines. Okay, software systems talk to software systems. And yeah, can't make a presentation, I think, in 2025 without mentioning AI in some sorts. That's also an interesting thing. We have implemented AI also in Directo ERP in some specific purpose. And personally, I would like to say that, in my opinion, people often put too much hope for what AI can do. At current point, it can't do very well anything that generates something new. If you think that it generates something new, it's illusion. You're deceived. What AI is extremely useful for today is for doing the job that the human being is perfectly capable of doing, but can't be bothered. Digitalization is the word here. We are implementing it for AI to turn, let's say, paper, PDF, into machine-readable documents. Human can do it very easily. You look at the lines, at the numbers, you enter them, fine. No point. Nobody wants to do that. But you can validate it very well. If the AI does the stuff, okay, that looks good. As soon as you start to rely on things that are, let's ask AI about things that I do not know or understand, you're doomed. So that's the current situation with that one. But it can change. So my point of view is that although 25 years have passed, I can see no end how the technology actually constantly reduces the human workload factor in that business. And it will keep happening, is my prediction on that one. Anyway, it has been fun 25 years, and I hope to be on that boat for a long time to come. So are we a bit closer to the schedule now? Can we wrap it up? Yeah, so hope you enjoyed it, and I can personally say that that's fun for me.
Thank you, Martin.